Hello, August here, and welcome to another Ranking Every Track on an Album video. And today I'm going to be doing King of Limbs by Radiohead. Now, this album obviously gets a lot of flack amongst Radiohead fans. Similar to Pablo Honey, you always see it at the bottom of, album ranking videos. People don't really like this album, especially I think around when it came out, and I think that's understandable because this album follows In Rainbows Man. Any album that has to follow In Rainbows, it's kind of unfair. But for a Radiohead album, King of Limbs, it's pretty underwhelming. They were going for a specific sound and style, so it's quite a unique album. It doesn't sound like any other Radiohead album. So I think if you're a huge Radiohead, if you're a Radiohead fan, I think King of Limbs has value because it's different. And also, personally, I like King of Limbs. It took a long time for me to like it, but I do like it. I don't dislike it. I think it's pretty alright. I enjoy listening to it. I just don't go back to it as much as other albums. Anyway, let's do the ranking. This is probably, I guess other than maybe Pablo Honey, this is probably the album where my opinion varies the most. Like, it's kind of, you'll see. Let's just do the ranking. So, at the bottom, I've gone with Little by Little. To be honest, I do not like this song, I don't think. And I never have. Maybe these days my dislike for it is not as strong, because I used to kind of hate it, to be honest. Now I switch between being like, it's alright. Maybe not alright, but like a 5 out of 10. Like I don't really like it or dislike it, or just straight up dislike it. Sometimes I mildly like it. But it's always in the middle, pretty much. This is why Little, I don't know, it's so mild. The chorus is a little annoying, like the vocal inflection that Tom York does. And I don't really like the song. I feel like the only people that would be offended by that are the King of Limbs lovers, which do exist. There are people that really love this album. That I think one time online, I discovered someone who King of Limbs was their favourite album. Now, bear in mind, this is someone that doesn't like Radiohead, but they like King of Limbs, which I think is interesting. I think that's very interesting. That's that's an interesting opinion to have. So fair enough. It's got its own thing going on, so I can sort of see it. I guess. Just. Anyway, next up is Feral, which is I would say I do, unlike with Little by Little, I think I do like this song. It's quite experimental. It's got this weird thing going on with the vocals. It kind of reminds me of like Everything in Its Right Place, the way it's being manipulated. I think it's kind of a cool song, but not the best song here. Next up, I've gone with Morning Mr. Magpie, which is pretty good. I don't think it super sticks out amongst other Radiohead songs, but I enjoy it. Next up, I have gone with Bloom, the opener. This is an interesting track. I think it is a good song, but that piano version that Tom York did, which you can find on YouTube, is so much better. And it made me realise. I think that video makes me like this song more. It has affected my opinion of this song, but at the same time, it also makes me dislike this version, because I'm like, the song itself is good, but I don't know if I really dig the actual recording that much, because on this album, I think the whole concept of this album is they're going for like odd rhythms, like it's very rhythm based. But for me, particularly the songs that are in the first half of this album, they all feel kind of a little bit off. Even Bloom, it feels a little off, not off in like a cool way, like a math rock way. Off where it's like I almost don't like it. And that's one of the reasons why it took me a while to get into the album. I just didn't like the feel of the songs. But now I don't mind them as much. Bloom is one of the better ones, but that piano version is so much better. Anyway, next up is Codex. This one grew on me because it's quite low-key, simple and quiet. So it's one that doesn't stick out to you much at first. But over time it grew on me, and I think it's great. I mean, I think I'm a sucker for like Radiohead and Tom York piano ballads, which is why I love that version of Bloom so much. So yeah, I really like Codex. I think it's great. Next up, I've gone with Separator, which is sort of a hidden gem because it's the closing track of possibly the most hated Radiohead album, maybe other than Pablo Honey. But I don't really know what to say about it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, that's all I can think of, really. Next up, I've gone with Lotus Flower, which is like the lead single and the most popular song on the album. And I hear a lot of people say, I've heard a lot of people say, King of Limbs, terrible, except this song. I've heard that opinion quite a few times. And it is a great song, undeniably. But the people that say that are wrong. It's not even the best song on the album. And I can even see an argument for Separator being a better song than Lotus Flower, which I did consider putting it higher. But there is one song which I do think is better, and you already know what it is. It is Give Up the Ghost. Dude, this song's incredible. It's so underrated and underappreciated because, again, it's buried on the worst Radiohead album. But it's so good, man. What do I even say? The layering of the vocals and just something about the atmosphere and the lyrics. It's a great song. It's an amazing song, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm struggling with my words, but yeah, Give It the Ghost I think is one of the most underrated Radiohead songs. If I have considered doing like a top 10 most underrated Radiohead songs video, and this would definitely be on here. So yeah, there you have it. There was my King of Limbs ranking. Let me know your thoughts on it and what your ranking is if you've listened to the whole thing, which a lot of people haven't, which I understand why. And that's actually something I wanted to talk about, which I will before the video ends. One of the reasons that King of Limbs is kind of hard to get into is because the first side, whatever, is so much worse than like the second half. The second half is overshadows the first half so much, which is so weird. I feel like it's so much more common to get albums where the first half overshadows the second half. The other round is so rare because that's not a good way to really sequence an album. You want the heavy hitters at the start. I mean, really, you want them spread out, but it's best to have them at the beginning than at the end because otherwise people lose attention, which I think is the problem with King of Limbs. I mean, so the flow of the album isn't great, but then again, having the best songs at the end, it's like when I listen to the album, it makes me want to listen to the whole thing more. Like, I guess it's like the pudding after the meal. You know, it's a nice treat for getting through the album. So yeah. Next up is a moon-shaped pool. Yeah, which hopefully I will do tomorrow, and then I'll be done with this series. And then it'll probably be a while before I upload, because I've decided I'm gonna start working on more videos that are more ambitious, I guess. Because recently I've been doing pretty simple videos. That's just kind of been my mindset recently. But I think I want to start doing a bit more of a mix. You know, I like doing these videos where it's just me on camera just talking about stuff. But I think I should do a mix. That's how I feel right now. So, and I'm considering doing this is for Radiohead fans. I'm considering doing another Tom York out of context type video, because the one that I made like 2 or 3 years ago, it's been kind of blowing up the last few months, which is awesome. And I've been considering going back to doing those types of videos anyway. So I think I should start with a Tom York one. Although that might be difficult, because that video took so long to make, because I just watched constant like Radiohead and Tom York interviews, and I felt like I exhausted all of them. I mean, I wanted that video to be longer than it actually ended up being. So I guess I'm not going to say for sure that video that I'm going to do a second one, but I'm considering it. Yeah. So it might happen, it might not. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Thank you for watching. Again, let me know your thoughts on my ranking below, and give me your ranking. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. So hopefully I'll see you soon. Goodbye.